Hello, my name is Hà. This is the presentation of our group about a tourism service provider, which is Vietnam Airlines. I will have a brief description about this company. Vietnam Airlines was first launched in 1993, mainly owned by the government and become Vietnam's national flag carrier. Within 20 years, Vietnam Airlines has stated its advance to become one of major competitors in Asian aviation industry by operating and service an extensive network service to 21 domestic and 28 international destinations including Asia, Europe and Australia. In 2010, Vietnam Airlines officially became a member of SkyTeam, which is the largest airline alliance in the world, affirming its new position on global aviation map with international standard services. The airline is willing to become a favorable carrier in Asia-Pacific region, which provide a higher quality of aviation service.
Hello, my name is Quyen, and in this section, I would like to present some key points in the capital requirements for Vietnam Airlines. The forecast of the volume of capital needed for Vietnam Airlines in the next 10 years will be higher than the current capital, especially in investing fixed assets such as aircrafts. Vietnam Airlines pays a special attention to increase both in capacity and quality for customers. Since the volume of passengers increased significantly day by day, placing a big pressure not only on the airport but also on Vietnam Airlines. So with the new generation of aircraft, it can provide a higher operational efficiency and will serve the expansion plan in the long term. As a result, a massive amount of capital normally spent on replacing and purchasing new aircraft. And in terms of sources of capital investment for the next 10 years, Vietnam Airlines should keep attracting investment through selling shareholdings to equity investors. Since the company has experienced a successful execution of equitization in the late 2015 and officially became a joint stock company in 2016. So through the equity investment, Vietnam Airlines has more opportunities to attract more foreign investors, access to greater capital, and widen its route connection to other continents.
Hello, my name is Thuy and I'm going to talk about the seasonal influences of Vietnam Airlines. Okay, so the seasonal influences of the airport industry, particularly Vietnam Airlines, depended mostly on the predictable nature of its destination, which is Vietnam, and secondly, the power of its multi-channel marketing. Okay, so thanks to the rise of the media, which is the online platform, it allows travelers to forecast which factors that will affect to their short-term or long-term future plan to visit some certain country. Okay, so for example, according to a lot of different sources on the internet, travelers tend to find the good timing to visit Vietnam is from mid-December to March, but mostly from January to March due to the lower amount of rainfall. And during this time, there are a lot of interesting occasions like Christmas and New Year Eve and especially Tet Holiday. Also, this is the most perfect time for Vietnamese who lives in overseas to come back to their home country for a reunion with their families and their beloved ones. And also during this time, the demand of traveling to different places of Vietnamese, like Vietnamese who lived in Vietnam, is significantly high. Yeah, and depend on that, the sales of Vietnam Airlines organization is really high during this time. However, it is reported to be higher to reach its peak during the summer season, which is really explainable. And the figure is about 1.3 trillion, which accounts for 56% of the whole profit of a whole year, which is 2.3 Vietnam dong trillion.
Next, I will present about predictability influence, which is described as a way service supply capacity cannot be stored, returned, or repurchased in the future. In the case of Vietnam Airlines, the situation empty seats after departure because of no-show or last-minute cancellation causes the loss of revenue. With every flight, the airline had to spend 75% of fixed costs, including airline rental, standard maintenance, and fuel factor. To cope with the problem, overbooking application is the common solution that many airlines, including Vietnam Airlines, often apply. The practice of overbooking is based on historical data to forecast no-show rates on each route. According to the flight time frames, airlines rely on it to determine the rate of overbooking. Another normal unused capacity that Vietnam Airlines has been meeting is the loss of revenue from delay or canceled flights. The airlines have to pay for both fixed and variable costs for each flight. However, due to bad weather or other incident reasons, those flights cannot take off, whereas the capacity are already paid. Under rainy or hurricane season, Vietnam Airlines is the firm suffered the most impact. That there are about 100 flights were delayed per day on average and make the firm to provide commitment to assist passengers to return the tickets and change flight without surcharge. This unwanted effect caused the damage of approximately $2 million for the airline. Due to this serious influence, Vietnam Airlines should provide a temporary place with food and drink for passengers to rest while waiting. Then they will feel respected and are willing to wait for the next flight instead of canceling.
Hello, I'm Phuc and I will continue to talk about the complementarity influence of Vietnam Airlines. Vietnam Airlines, also known as one of the best airlines in Vietnam, with world rate 4-star of product and service quality by Skytrax standard. As a result, Vietnam Airlines always develop and improve their service to satisfy customer requirements. In terms of understanding the demand of each customer, Vietnam Airlines also have diversity complementarity to serve customers, including business class, premium economy, and economy class, which are completely can adapt customer budget and requirements. These three types also serve customers the comfortable seat, complimentary selection of meal, and some entertainment. This complementarity will have customers have a great time during flight. Also, Vietnam Airlines have some policies for special situation passengers. They are including infants under 2 years old and children from 2 up to 12 years old, unaccompanied children, and passengers with disability. Also, Vietnam Airlines will bring the best pleasure and safety concern to pregnant passengers. Besides that, Vietnam Airlines have special provide for passengers requiring medical clearance with extra fee. In addition, in 2010, Vietnam Airlines officially launched the SkyTeam Global Airline Alliance, which is one of the largest major airline alliance. This means Vietnam Airlines passengers will easy to approach the identical product and service system in over the world.
Hi, I'm Nghi and I'm going to talk about leakage influences on Vietnam Airlines. Economic leakage is witnessed in many business sectors. However, it is significantly crucial in tourism, particularly in Vietnam. As a tourism provider, Vietnam Airlines is not an exception to the problem. Although Vietnamese government and organizations own about 90% of the airline, 10% of the shares belong to ANA Holdings, Incorporated, and other foreign organizations. This means that some profits generated from the airline activities will be leaked overseas and are not reinvested in Vietnam. Other drivers are the presence of cheap airlines and poor services from Vietnam Airlines. To minimize the leakage of economic benefits by aforementioned issues, Vietnam Airlines should organize not only initial training for new employees and staff, but also continuous development programs in order to improve their performances over time. It is also recommended that Vietnam Airlines focus on concentrated marketing a certain number of customer segments such as businessmen and businesswomen who are able to afford medium prices from the airway. Next is future ambitions. Being the leading airline in Vietnam, the ambition of Vietnam Airlines is to become the second largest carrier in the Asia Pacific region by 2020 and maintain the position in the future. Furthermore, with the upcoming opening of Long Thanh Airport in 2023, the airline will be able to expand its operations to the new airport, boosting its market share from 40 to 45%. Secondly, over 600,000 bookings from Vietnam to the US in 2016 and a significant number of 500,000 American tourist visits in 2015 result to the need for Vietnam Airlines to aim at non-stop flights from Ho Chi Minh City to Los Angeles from 2020. The plan has been confirmed in 2003. However, it has been delayed due to the fact that Vietnam Airlines does not have an FAA rating, and the organization has never been a part of FAA's International Aviation Safety Assessments program. Even if Vietnamese authorities can obtain a Category 1, the process of getting an approval for FAA will still be complicated and take a great amount of time.
Okay, so the biggest challenge relating to seasonality of Vietnam Airlines organization is during the low season, which is in Q3 from April to June. The revenue is not as high as other quarter, and sometimes it can trigger to the revenue loss of the organization. Okay, so this actually happened to a whole industry, not only just Vietnam Airlines, and this can be explained because of the general circumstance of the whole country, Vietnam. So actually, as you may know, the funding that Vietnamese tourism marketing is being provided by the government is only $2 million per year. So there are undeniably still many downturns that this field has faced, and due to the shortage of that, the funding holds back the growth of the whole industry for sure. Okay, so but however, Vietnam Airlines is trying to reinforce different strategies, such as offering a lot of promotions like cheaper the flight, cheaper the price of packages, or like add-on values of the whole flight. And due to that, a small segment of customers who have less income would consider purchasing it for sure. And hopefully in the future, the organization can attract more customer regardless the low season.
The consequence of poor stability can negatively affect the balance between supply and demand in regards to the unused supply capacity. The higher volume of empty seats can directly impact the revenue inflow. Therefore, the best solution Vietnam Airlines can implement is offer a discount price for limited number of seats in both business and economic class about 3 or 4 weeks before the flight. Importantly, all the sales tickets are non-refundable, so even if the passengers leave the flight, Vietnam Airlines still gain the revenue from those tickets. Moreover, this aviation can comfort and support as much as possible when something goes wrong. This action will score absolutely in the hearts of people, thereby attracting a large number of potential customers and will not have to fear the status of tickets have not sold out. Thanks to the successful application of these solutions, the national carrier Vietnam Airlines alone made over about $38.9 billion in revenue, exceeding more than 40% of its yearly target. The earning pre-tax profit is about $1.2 billion, about 72% above the target. During this period, Vietnam Airlines carried nearly 180,000 flights with a volume of passengers grow by 26.5 million people, occupy 60% of domestic market and 32.3% of international market. Vietnam Airlines will continue working to ensure the security, high productivity, and its four-star service quality standard to achieve the goal set for 2018.
Besides some partnerships that I have talked about, Vietnam Airlines should increase their relationship with other partners to not only enhance their complementarity but also create more benefit for their business. In addition, Vietnam Airlines should create their relationship with other airlines, especially with international airlines in all over the world. Collaboration with other airlines will bring them many benefits. Firstly, it helps them enrich their reputation into the world. This means if customers in international want to come to Vietnam or travel to Vietnam, the first airline they think that this will be Vietnam Airlines. Secondly, collaboration with other airlines will bring Vietnam Airlines into the competitive and put them improve and develop their complementary to serve customers. And lastly, it gives Vietnam Airlines passengers easy to approach the international identical product and service system.
So my question is leakage a problem for this organization? Why or why not? If so, identify the biggest source of leakage and recommend a measure to mitigate it. In the study of tourism, the leakage is the way in which revenue generated by tourism is lost to other countries' economies. Leakage may be so significant in some development countries that it partially neutralizes the money generated by tourism. A significant percentage of the revenues arising from tourism, common estimates suggest approximately 60 to 75% leaks away from developing countries because of foreign ownership of the industry, imported resources, foreign tour operators, and foreign airlines. In my opinion, leakage is a problem for Vietnam Airlines in particular, and the biggest source of leakage is the preference of tourists when choosing airlines. To be specific, they tend to fly with foreign ones over domestic ones. There are various reasons why this happens. Firstly, no one likes a delayed flight, so an airline's ability to take off and land on time is extremely important. Nonetheless, Vietnam Airlines is often complained with lack of punctuality of its scheduled flights. Between April and May 2016, Vietnam Airlines delayed 275 or 11% of its flights. Customers in Vietnam are more likely to be biased towards foreign airways over Vietnam Airlines due to respectful manners of employees and staff. Many travelers cited Cathay Pacific, All Nippon Airways or Emirates as the benchmark for the best plans and customer service. Meanwhile, tourists find the same grumpy service attendants in the national airline discourages them to fly again. because airlines cram more flights into their daily schedule than they can actually operate, which causes because airlines cram more because airlines cram more flights into their daily schedule than they can actually operate, which causes frequent delays. The best solution to mitigate the problem is extensive planning. Moreover, compensations for customers is compulsory, since delayed flights increase costs for accommodation and meals during the wait. Continuous training for flight attendants is a must. After being hired, employees and staff must be constantly reminded that they have to be attentive, communicative, and customer-oriented. If the customer service quality improves, travelers are more willing to stay with Vietnam Airlines in the long term. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Quyen, and in this part, I would like to answer the last given questions. So the future ambition of Vietnam Airlines is to expand its fleet in an air passenger market. While it already operates 95 routes to 21 domestic and 29 international destinations, the aim is to strengthening the airline's competitiveness through enhance the global connectivity. So from my perspective, I believe their future ambition is realistic since Vietnam Airlines is already a top leading air carrier in Vietnam, so they need to expand and widespread their strength and image to other countries. So with the ambition, the firm has to develop a long-range capital investment for the next 10 years or even for the longer time zone. The capital requirement is directly affected by the future ambition of the company. Most of the capital investment will be poured in investing and replacing new aircraft. This is also an important factor for Vietnam Airlines, and it will modernize their fleet and improve the quality of services. So with the enormous future desire, the cost and capital requirements will be higher too in order to accomplish their future target. So in addition, Vietnam Airlines is also in the maturity stage of the business life cycle. Since Vietnam Airlines is the only traditional airline in Vietnam with differentiated domestic products such as the business class and regular customer program. Vietnam Airlines is also ranked among the top 20 premium economy class in the world by Skytrax for 2017.